Close your eyes for a second. Imagine the moment you tell the love of your life you're pregnant. You're shaking with excitement, holding those tiny little baby shoes in your hands. And he looks at you, smiles, and says, "It better be a boy." You laugh it off. It's just a joke, right? But what if it wasn't? What if that one sentence was the first warning of a darkness so deep it would rob you of 4 unborn children, destroy your body forever, and leave you watching from the sidelines as he built the perfect family with the woman he'd been hiding all along? This is the story of Sarah and Marcus, a story that starts like every fairy tale romance and ends in a nightmare most people can't even stomach to hear. For pregnancies, for miscarriages, every single one caused by his fists. He wanted a son so badly. He beat the possibility out of her again and again and again, until doctors had no choice but to take her womb to save her life. And while she lay in that hospital bed, broken, empty, grieving, he served her divorce papers. Why? Because his mistress, the one he'd been seeing for years, was finally pregnant with the boy he always wanted. He got his son. He got his new wife. He got the big house, the perfect Instagram life. Sarah got silence, scars, and a future with no children. But here's the part that will make your blood run cold. 8 years later, a single envelope arrived in the mail, a DNA test. And when Marcus opened it, everything he thought he'd won came crashing down in the most brutal karmic twist you'll ever hear. This isn't just a story about abuse. This isn't just a story about betrayal. This is a story about what happens when the universe finally says, "Enough." You're going to want to hear every single second of this, because the ending, it's the kind of justice people wait lifetimes for.
Welcome to Nightmare Crimes, where every story blurs the line between fact and fear. Some say they're true, others hope they're not. You don't decide, you do. Subscribe and step into the unknown.
Stay with me. You won't believe what happens next. Drop a heart if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because 6 months after the wedding, Sarah found out she was pregnant. She bought those tiny little baby shoes, wrapped the pregnancy test in a gift box, waited nervously for Marcus to come home. When he opened it, he smiled, hugged her, said all the right things. But then, almost under his breath, he whispered, "It better be a boy." Sarah laughed. She thought he was joking. She had no idea that those 5 words were the beginning of the end. And what came next? Well, that's where this story turns dark. Really dark. But we're just getting started. Stay with me. Now, let's talk about that first pregnancy. The one that was supposed to be the happiest chapter of Sarah's life. She found out 6 months after the wedding. 2 pink lines on the test. Her hands were shaking so much she almost dropped it. She didn't tell Marcus right away. She wanted it to be perfect. So she bought those tiny white baby shoes. You know, the ones, soft, unsuitable. Wrapped the test inside a little gift box with a note. "We're going to be a family of 3. That night, Marcus came home from work. Sarah was nervous, excited, heart pounding. She handed him the box with a huge smile. He opened it, paused, and then his face lit up. He scooped her up, spun her around, carefully, laughing. "We're having a baby," he shouted. He kissed her belly even though there was nothing to feel yet. For a week straight, he was the perfect husband. Texted her from work, "How's my little one doing?" Brought home prenatal vitamins without being asked. Even started talking names, strong boy names, of course. Sarah thought, "This is it. This is the man I married." Fatherhood is going to change everything for the better. Comment below if you've ever felt that rush, that pure hope when you see those 2 lines. Or if someone you know had that perfect announcement moment. I want to see those stories, because what comes next makes this part hurt even more. But slowly, the mask started slipping. Marcus became possessive, not in a cute way. He didn't like her going to prenatal appointments alone. Said he wanted to be there, but then complained when she scheduled them during his work hours. He'd ask where she was every hour. If she didn't answer a text fast enough, he'd call repeatedly until she picked up. "I just worry about you and the baby," he'd say. And Sarah believed him. Then came the jealousy. irrational, burning jealousy. A male coworker commented on one of her Instagram posts. Just a simple congrats with a heart emoji. Marcus saw it. That night he exploded. Who the hell is this guy? Why is he looking at pictures of you? Sarah explained. He's married, has kids, it's nothing. But Marcus wouldn't let it go. He made her delete the comment. Then unfollow the guy. Then he took her phone and scrolled through years of messages while she sat there crying. She told herself, hormones. He's stressed. Lots of guys get protective when their wife is pregnant. But here's where it crossed the line. Around the 4-month mark, Sarah wanted to visit her mom for the weekend, just 2 hours away. Her mom was throwing a small baby shower with her sisters. Marcus said no. Flat out no. You shouldn't be driving that far alone. What if something happens? Sarah pushed back, gently. I'll be careful. I want mom to feel the baby kick. That was the trigger. Marcus's face changed. The charming smile gone. Eyes dark. He started yelling, louder than ever before. Called her selfish, ungrateful. Said she didn't care about his feelings. Sarah tried to calm him down, but he kept advancing. She backed up, hit the wall. And then he shoved her. Hard. Right in the chest. She fell sideways, hands instinctively protecting her belly. Hit the corner of the coffee table. That night, the cramping started. Then the spotting. By morning, heavy bleeding. Sarah drove herself to the ER. Marcus was too upset to go with her. The ultrasound room was silent. No heartbeat. Miscarriage. Their first baby gone. The doctor was gentle but direct. Sometimes these things just happen, but physical trauma and high stress can contribute. Sarah sat there numb. Called Marcus from the hospital bed. He showed up hours later, with flowers and tears. I'm so sorry, babe. I never meant. It was an accident. I'd never hurt you or the baby on purpose. He cried harder than she did. Begged forgiveness. Promised therapy. Swore he'd change. And for months, he did. The honeymoon phase came roaring back. He was attentive, loving, guilty. Brought her soup in bed while she grieved. Said things like, we'll try again when you're ready. I'll be better. I promise. Sarah forgave him. Because she loved him. Because she blamed herself a little. Maybe if I hadn't pushed to go see mom. Because leaving felt scarier than staying. Drop a comment right now if you've ever heard those words. It was an accident. I'll change. Or if you've said them yourself. No judgment here. But we all know that was only the beginning. Because 2 years later, Sarah got pregnant again. And this time, Marcus's darkness didn't hide as well. The abuse didn't stay accidental. It became deliberate, targeted. And what he did next, it's the part that still makes my stomach turn. You're not ready for how bad it gets. But I promise, if you stay until the end, the payback is worth every tear. Don't stop watching now. We're going deeper. By now, Sarah barely recognized her own life. 2 miscarriages. 2 little lives lost. And every time, Marcus's promises rang a little more hollow. But hope is a stubborn thing. Especially when you're married to the man who helped create that hope in the first place. 2 years after the second loss, Sarah saw those 2 pink lines again. The third pregnancy. She didn't wrap it in a gift box this time. She didn't throw a party. She just sat on the bathroom floor and cried. Half joy, half terror. She waited until the 8-week ultrasound, until she heard the heartbeat, before telling Marcus. When she finally did, he hugged her tight. This is it, he said. This one's sticking. I feel it. And for a while, he was good. He went to appointments, rubbed her feet, even started setting up the nursery, painting it blue. Because at the 16-week scan, they found out it was a boy. Marcus lost his mind with excitement. Posted the gender reveal on social media, blue balloons everywhere. Called him my little prince already. Told everyone at work, finally getting my son. Sarah allowed herself to dream again. She bought tiny football onesies. Picked a name, Ethan. Felt him kick for the first time and sobbed happy tears. But the happier Marcus seemed on the outside, the more controlling he became behind closed doors. He didn't want her leaving the house much. You're showing now? People will look at you. He monitored every bite she ate. If she gained too much weight, he'd make comments. If she rested too much, he'd call her lazy. And the rage, it was always simmering. One night, around 6 months, Sarah burned dinner. Just slightly. The chicken was a little dry. Marcus came home late, already in a mood from work. He took one bite and flipped the plate across the kitchen. Started screaming. "You can't even cook anymore? What good are you?" Sarah tried to clean it up, apologizing, even though she was exhausted and huge. She turned to walk away, and he grabbed her arm. Hard. She pulled away. That was all. And he snapped. He shoved her, hard, toward the stairs. She stumbled, caught the railing, but then he kicked. Right in her lower back. Sarah tumbled down 6 steps, landed on her side, curled around her belly. The pain was immediate. Sharp. Wrong. She screamed for him to call 911. He stood at the top of the stairs, just staring, for 10 full seconds. Then he finally did. At the hospital, the news was devastating. The fall had caused a placental abruption. They tried everything, emergency C-section, but it was too late. Ethan, their little boy, didn't make it. Sarah almost didn't either. She lost so much blood. When she woke up in recovery, Marcus was there, holding her hand, crying. "It was an accident. I didn't mean. I lost my temper. I'm so sorry." The nurses heard him. One pulled Sarah aside later. "Honey, this isn't normal. These injuries, they don't happen from a simple fall." Sarah whispered. He didn't mean it. But inside something broke. Comment right now if you're angry. Type, "I'm furious if this part is making your blood boil." Because what Marcus did next, after losing his precious son, it's going to make you see red. Sarah took a year to physically heal. Emotionally, she was a ghost. But Marcus, he grieved differently. He blamed her. Quietly at first. If you hadn't pulled away. If you just listened. And then, a miracle nobody expected. The 4th pregnancy. Doctors had warned her. After everything, the risks were high. But it happened anyway. Sarah was terrified. She hid it from Marcus for weeks. Lived in constant anxiety. When she finally told him, his reaction was different. Cold excitement. "This one better be a boy again. We deserve it after last time." He didn't touch her belly gently anymore. He didn't go to appointments. Instead, the abuse turned targeted. Deliberate. He'd punch her in the stomach when he was mad. Not hard enough to bruise visibly. He was careful about that. But hard enough to hurt. Hard enough to terrify. He'd say things like, "If you can't carry a healthy baby, what use are you? I need a son. You keep failing me." Sarah tried to protect herself. Slept with pillows around her middle. Avoided him as much as she could. But at 4 months, after a particularly bad fight, he hit her repeatedly, right where the baby was. That night, she miscarried again. This time, complications were life-threatening. Severe internal bleeding. Infection spread fast. Emergency surgery. The doctor came out to Marcus in the waiting room. "We did everything we could for the baby, but it's gone." And Sarah, to save her life, we had to perform a full hysterectomy. She'll never be able to carry a child again. Marcus nodded. Asked, "When can she come home?" No tears. Sarah woke up, empty. Physically. Emotionally. Her womb, gone. Her future as a mother, stolen. All because of the man who swore to protect her. And while she lay there in that hospital bed, tubes everywhere, grieving 4 babies, Marcus was already planning his exit. Because his mistress, the one he'd been seeing for years, she'd just told him she was pregnant. With a boy. If you're still watching, thank you. This part is heavy. But I promise you, the darkest hour is always just before the dawn. And Sarah's dawn? It's coming. But first, we have to talk about the ultimate betrayal. Don't look away now. The karma is building. And when it hits hard. Stay with me. Sarah woke up in that hospital room and felt nothing. Not at first. The anesthesia was still wearing off. Her body felt heavy, foreign, like it didn't belong to her anymore. A nurse adjusted the blanket over her legs and said softly, "You're going to be okay. You made it through surgery." But Sarah already knew what they'd taken. The doctor had explained it before they put her under. "We have to remove your uterus. There's no other way to stop the bleeding." Her baby's gone. Her womb gone. Her future as a mother gone. She stared at the ceiling for hours. waiting for Marcus to come. He finally showed up that evening. Clean shirt, hair combed, carrying a small bouquet of grocery store flowers. He sat in the plastic chair beside her bed, held her hand, said all the right things. "I'm so sorry, babe. This is awful. We'll get through it together." But his eyes, they wouldn't meet hers for long. Sarah was too drugged, too broken to notice at first. 2 days later, she was moved to a regular room. Marcus visited less. "Work," he said. "Important meetings." One afternoon, alone, Sarah reached for his phone to check the time. Hers was dead. It was unlocked. She didn't mean to snoop. She really didn't. But a notification popped up. A text preview. From someone saved as "Love, can't wait to see you tonight. Baby kicked so hard today, he knows daddy's voice already." Sarah's heart stopped. She opened the thread. Hundreds of messages. Going back years. Photos of a woman, younger, blonde, bright smile. Her name was Lisa, 26 years old. Worked in Marcus's office. Selfies of her growing belly. Ultrasound pictures. Messages like, "Tell her you're working late again. I hate that she's still in our way. This boy is going to be all ours soon." And Marcus's replies, "Just a little longer. She can't even give me kids anymore. You're the one I want." Sarah scrolled back further. The affair started before the third pregnancy. Continued through every loss. Every hospital stay. Every time Marcus cried at her bedside. He went home to Lisa. Or to her apartment. And now, Lisa was 7 months pregnant. With a boy. Sarah sat there in that hospital gown, silent tears running down her face. Reading every betrayal. When Marcus walked in an hour later, she held up the phone. He froze in the doorway. At first, he tried to deny it. "It's not what you think." Classic. Then anger. "You went through my phone? After everything I've done for you." And finally, the mask came all the way off. He sat down. Cold. Calm. "Look, Sarah, this marriage hasn't been working for a long time. You can't give me the family I need. I stayed because I felt sorry for you. But Lisa, she's young. Healthy. She's giving me the son I've always wanted." Sarah whispered, "I lost 4 babies because of you." He shrugged. "Accidents happen. You were clumsy. Emotional. But I can't wait forever." He stood up. "I've talked to a lawyer. I'll be filing for divorce as soon as you're discharged. You'll get the apartment. I'll keep the house. It's only fair. I paid for most of it." Sarah couldn't even cry anymore. She just nodded. 3 days later, while she was still in the hospital recovering from major surgery, a process server walked into her room, handed her the papers. Marcus had already signed. Grounds? Irreconcilable differences. No mention of abuse. No mention of the affair. He wanted it quick, clean, so he could marry Lisa before the baby came. Comment below if this is the part that breaks you. Type, "monster," if Marcus is showing his true colors right now. Or share the exact moment you would have snapped if you were Sarah. I'm reading every single one. Because here's the worst part. Sarah signed the papers. She didn't fight. She was too empty. Too destroyed. She moved into a tiny 1-bedroom apartment with whatever furniture he let her take. Started therapy. Got on antidepressants. Tried to remember who she was before him. Meanwhile, Marcus? He married Lisa in a lavish backyard ceremony 6 weeks after the divorce was final. Posted photos everywhere. Her in a white dress, belly huge. Him kissing it. Caption, "Starting the family I've always dreamed of." Mutual friends sent Sarah the pictures. Some out of cruelty. Some thinking she should know. Their son was born healthy. They named him Ethan. The same name Sarah had picked for the little boy she lost. Marcus posted constantly. Father-son matching outfits. First steps. Couldn't ask for a more perfect life. Sarah saw it all. She didn't block him. She couldn't explain why. Maybe punishment. Maybe waiting for something. And 8 years later, something came. But we're not there yet. Right now, Sarah was at her lowest. Alone. Infertile. Betrayed beyond words. Watching the man who destroyed her live the life she was supposed to have. If you're hating Marcus right now, good. Hold on to that feeling. Because the universe was watching too. And it doesn't forget. Next, we're going to see Marcus's perfect new life. The big house. the social media flex, the bragging, and then the envelope that changed everything. You're not going to want to miss what's coming. Stay right here. Now, let's look at the other side of the story. Marcus's side, the one he wanted the world to see. 6 weeks after the divorce was final, Marcus married Lisa in a picture-perfect backyard ceremony. White tent, string lights, 300 guests. Lisa in a flowing white gown that hid her 8-month belly just enough to look elegant. They posted everything. Every single thing. The proposal, him on one knee in front of a private fireworks show. The engagement ring, a rock so big it had its own spotlight. The baby shower, blew everything, a cake shaped like a football. And when the baby arrived, healthy, screaming, 8 pounds, 6 ounces, they named him Ethan. The same name Sarah had whispered to her lost little boy in the hospital. Marcus posted the first photo within hours. Him holding the newborn, Lisa glowing beside him. Caption: "Welcome to the world, my son. Daddy's waited a long time for you." Over 10,000 likes. Comment below if that caption made you feel sick. Type "stolen name" if this is crossing a line for you. Because for Sarah, seeing that notification pop up on her phone, it was like a punch to a wound that never closed. But Marcus didn't stop there. He upgraded everything. Sold the starter home he'd shared with Sarah. Bought a 6-bedroom McMansion in the best suburb. White kitchen, pool, 3-car garage. He posted the keys in his hand. New chapter, new home for my growing family. Lisa quit her job, became a full-time influencer mom. Their feed was a highlight reel. Matching family pajamas at Christmas. Vacations to Disney. Ethan in Mickey ears. Date nights. Lisa in tight dresses, Marcus in suits. Then came baby number 2, another boy. Posted ultrasound. Brothers. Baby number 3, a little girl. Daddy's princess finally arrived. Marcus had it all. 3 beautiful kids. A young, fertile wife who adored him. A fat bank account. And the ultimate bragging rights. Biological sons. He'd tell anyone who listened. Sarah just couldn't give me kids. Her body wasn't strong enough. Good thing I moved on when I did. Look at my life now. At barbecues. At work. To mutual friends who still awkwardly stayed in touch with Sarah. Some of those friends would message her screenshots. "He said this about you again." Sarah never responded publicly. She blocked, muted, tried to disappear. She got a small apartment. A quiet job. Adopted a rescue dog for company. Went to therapy twice a week. She wasn't bitter, not outwardly. But she carried it. Every milestone Marcus posted felt like salt in the deepest cut. First steps. First words, dada. T-ball games. Father-son camping trips. Marcus leaning into the camera. This is what real family looks like. And the world ate it up. Comments pouring in. Goals. Perfect dad. You deserve this happiness. He really believed he'd won. That he'd escaped the failure of his first marriage. Built something better. Something unbreakable. He told Lisa everything. Or at least his version. That Sarah was unstable. Clumsy. That the miscarriages were just bad luck. Lisa believed him. Why wouldn't she? She had the ring. The kids. The life. For 8 years, it looked like Marcus had gotten away with it. He destroyed a woman. Stole her future. And was rewarded with the exact family he'd beaten out of her. If you're feeling that rage right now, hold it. Because the higher someone climbs on lies, the harder the universe loves to pull the rug. And Marcus? He was standing on a rug made of nothing but secrets. One secret in particular. About those perfect sons he bragged about nonstop. In just a few minutes, we're going to watch that rug disappear. And when it does, Marcus falls further than you can imagine. If you've been waiting for the karma, you're almost there. Don't stop now. The best part, the part people rewatch over and over, is coming. Stay with me. And now, we finally get to the part you've been waiting for. The part that makes every second of this story worth it. 8 years after Marcus built his perfect life, a crack appeared. It started small. Lisa, the young, beautiful wife, began acting distant. Snapping at Marcus over little things. Hiding her phone. Staying out late with girlfriends. Marcus noticed. He'd built his whole world on control, so he started watching her. One night, he went through her old emails, found something that made his stomach drop. Messages from years ago, right around the time she got pregnant with Ethan. Flirty texts with an ex-boyfriend, a guy named Jake, someone she dated in college. They'd run into each other at a bar one weekend when Marcus was out of town. One thing led to another. Twice, Lisa swore it was nothing, that she'd chosen Marcus, that Ethan was his. But now, with Ethan turning 8, looking more and more like, well, not quite like Marcus, the doubt crept in. Marcus couldn't let it go. He ordered a DNA test kit online, the discreet kind. He swabbed Ethan's cheek while he was sleeping, told Lisa it was for a fun ancestry project. Swabbed the other 2 kids too, just to be sure. Mailed them off. And waited. Those 3 weeks were hell for him. He barely slept. Snapped at Lisa constantly. Watched Ethan play and searched his face for similarities. Then, the envelope arrived. Plain white. Return address from the lab. Marcus locked himself in his home office. Hands shaking. Tore it open. First result. Ethan. Paternity probability, 0%. Not his son. Second result. The younger boy. Also 0%. Not his. Third result. The little girl. 99.999%. His. Only the daughter was biologically his. The 2 sons he'd bragged about for years. The ones he posted nonstop. The ones he said proved he'd upgraded from Sarah. Not his blood. Marcus lost it. He confronted Lisa that night. Screaming. Throwing things. The kids hid in their rooms. Lisa cried. Confessed everything. She'd been scared when she found out she was pregnant after that weekend with Jake. But Marcus was stable. Rich. Obsessed with having a son. So she lied. Told Marcus the baby was his. Cut Jake off completely. And when the second boy came along so quickly, well, she'd seen Jake one more time. Just to be sure. But she thought the odds were in her favor. She was wrong. Marcus filed for divorce the next week. This time, it wasn't clean. Lisa lawyered up fast. Fought for everything. The house. Custody. Child support. Even for the boys who weren't his. Because here's the kicker. In their state, Marcus had signed the birth certificates. Raised them. Supported them for 8 years. Legally, he was their father. Whether the DNA said so or not. He still had to pay. The judge gave Lisa primary custody. Marcus got weekends. But not as dad. More like Uncle Marcus. Jake, the real father, stepped up. DNA confirmed. Moved in with Lisa within months. The boys started calling him Dad. Marcus? He got the daughter every other weekend. And a mountain of child support and alimony that drained his accounts. He had to sell the big house. Downsized to a 2-bedroom apartment. His social media went dark. The perfect life? Gone. The sons he was obsessed with? Gone. All he had left was the one child he barely paid attention to before, his daughter. And the irony? He finally had to learn how to be a real father. To a little girl. No sons to carry his name. No legacy. Just regrets. Comment karma if you're smiling right now. Type perfect if this twist feels like poetic justice. Or drop a heart emoji if Marcus got exactly what he deserved. Because the universe didn't just take his fake family away. It gave him the exact opposite of what he destroyed Sarah for. And Sarah? We'll talk about her happy ending in just a minute. But first, let's sit with this for a second. The man who beat 4 babies out of a woman because she couldn't give him a healthy son ends up with no biological sons at all. If that's not karma, I don't know what is. Stay with me. The final chapter is the most beautiful part. And now, the part that heals everything we've felt for the last 40 minutes. Sarah's ending. The one she deserved all along. After the divorce, Sarah didn't just survive. She rebuilt. Piece by careful piece. She stayed in therapy. Worked through the grief. Not just for the baby she lost, but for the woman she'd been. The one who made excuses. The one who stayed too long. She got stronger. Physically first. Walking every day with her rescue dog, Max. Then emotionally. She started volunteering at a domestic violence shelter. Listening to other women's stories. Sharing hers when she was ready. And one day, she realized she wasn't empty anymore. She was full of purpose, full of fire. Years passed. Sarah never confronted Marcus, never posted about him, never sought revenge. She didn't need to, because one afternoon, 8 years after the divorce, a mutual friend reached out. You won't believe what happened to Marcus. The DNA results. The second divorce. The house sold. The kids calling another man dad. Sarah read the message, closed her phone, and smiled. Not a bitter smile. A quiet, knowing one. Like the universe had whispered, I saw everything, and I handled it. But Sarah's real happiness? It didn't come from his downfall. It came from her rise. At 38, Sarah decided she was ready to be a mother. The way she was meant to. She adopted. First a little girl, 4 years old, shy, with big brown eyes and a laugh that lit up rooms. Then, 2 years later, a newborn boy surrendered at birth. Sarah became mom. The kind of mom she'd always dreamed of being. Patient, present, fierce. She met someone too. A man named David. Quiet, kind. A widower with no kids of his own. He didn't try to fix her. He just loved her, scars, strength, and all. They married in a small ceremony. Just family and close friends. Sarah wore a simple blue dress. Her kids carried the rings. No social media posts. No need to prove anything. Just real, quiet joy. Sarah heard through the grapevine that Marcus tried to reach out once. A message on Facebook. I'm sorry for everything. I was wrong. She read it. Didn't reply. Blocked him. And went back to her life. The one she built from ashes. Today, Sarah is in her mid-40s. Happy. Whole. Surrounded by love she earned. 2 beautiful kids who call her mom. A husband who looks at her like she hung the moon. A dog that still sleeps at the foot of her bed. And Marcus? He's alone, paying for a family that isn't his. Raising a daughter on weekends who asks why mommy lives with Jake now. Regretting every punch, every cruel word, every lie. Too late. This story isn't just about abuse and betrayal. It's about survival. About justice that comes when you least expect it. About the fact that no one gets to destroy another person and walk away untouched. If you're watching this and you're in a situation like Sarah's, please hear me. You are stronger than you know. You deserve safety. You deserve love that doesn't hurt. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233 or text START to 88788. Links are in the description. You are not alone. And your story? It can have an ending like Sarah's. Beautiful. Free. Full. Thank you for staying until the end. For feeling every moment with me. Comment below. Type, Sarah deserved this, if you needed this happy ending as much as I did. Or share one thing you're taking away from her story. I read every single comment. If this video hit you hard, like, share, subscribe. Ring the bell so you never miss the next one. Because there are more stories of survival and justice coming. Until then, stay strong, stay safe, and remember, karma doesn't always roar. Sometimes she just waits. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.